Let's talk about what's going on in the portal. Big fish last night jumping in there. Marvin Jones Jr., an edge from Georgia. He is a 5-star player, right? He was the number 4 edge in the class of 2022. And he is someone that you would have to imagine will have a fair number of options when it comes to his next landing spot. It is considered that Florida State is the favorite spot for him to potentially end up landing. His dad, Marvin Jones Sr., played linebacker there. So there's, the tie there. He's also from the state of Florida. And also, if I'm Marvin Jones Jr., I want to go somewhere where I know there's proof of concept for guys at my position to be successful. A lot of good options to look at. Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, there is some proof of concept there, not just from the portal perspective, from the defensive line perspective. So keep an eye on Florida State for Marvin Jones Jr. Again, that is a very talented player jumping in the portal. Appeared in 20 games for Georgia as a reserve. Just because you didn't start for Georgia on the defensive side of the ball does not mean you're not any good. Okay, there's a lot of guys that have to wait their turn and don't play till their junior year or their senior year in Athens. So Marvin Jones Jr. is a baller, and he's in the portal. Not plans to enter, he's officially in the portal. And the Knowles, it sounds like, is the school to watch for him. Now, like I said, we got some commitments going on. Raheem Sanders, Rocket Sanders, commits to South Carolina. As of, I believe it was last night, he is the number 2 running back in the transfer portal. All right, so this was a big-time get for Shane Beamer and company. You remember they lost Mario Anderson, that running back from a season ago. He hit the portal. Now, Rocket Sanders had some trouble staying healthy, but, man, when he's good to go, when he's on, he's a first-team All-SEC caliber back. He was exactly that in 2022. He's going to be crucial to whoever that new quarterback ends up being for South Carolina. A.J. Swan taking a visit to South Carolina. Lenora Sellers, talented true freshman for them a season ago. He's going to be a guy that you watch in this quarterback battle if there ends up being one in Columbia. All that's to say, you need some balance offensively for South Carolina, something you didn't have a season ago, and hopefully he helps provide that. Your offense was pretty one-dimensional last year. Ran the ball for right around 2.8 yards a carry, one of the worst in the country. You got to be balanced in the SEC. At the very least, you got to have something on the line of scrimmage to keep teams honest. So Rocket Sanders will obviously put a good foot forward in trying to provide that for the good folks at South Carolina. Another commitment we got last night, Tyler Van Dyke took a visit to Wisconsin. Says, I like the way this feels. I like where we stand here in Madison. Gives his commitment to Coach Fickle and Coach Longo. And we said it when we talked about him taking a visit there. We love this fit for him. Love this fit for him. And we may be the last ones out there on the Tyler Van Dyke can spin it branch, and that's fine with us. But I saw what he could do with the football. I saw him push the ball downfield consistently in 2021 and win the ACC Rookie of the Year. Dude can play football. A lot of people want to talk about how many turnovers he had and him getting benched at Miami. They don't want to talk about the fact that he had 3 different offensive coordinators during his time in Coral Gables. And so the coordinator he had the most success under was Rhett Lashley. Rhett Lashley and his offensive attack, a little bit more air raid, a little bit more pass happy. That's exactly the kind of system that Phil Longo runs at Wisconsin. So you would imagine he gets in there and gets back to doing what he does well, gets back in a system where he fits, where he's comfortable, builds upon the success he had in 2021, ideally, and gives some life to an offense that, quite frankly, struggled a fair amount a season ago at Wisconsin. Now, the defense, to be real, should support Tyler Van Dyke pretty effectively at Wisconsin. Should he end up being the guy for them there? I mean, they were able to keep offenses, or keep teams, rather, under 20 points a game, was that Badger defense. And that's kind of a trademark that you have at Wisconsin. Every single year, you can more or less bank on defense being solid, run game being in attendance, and those are 2 things that throughout Tyler Van Dyke's career was kind of hit and miss. They did a lot to retool the portal at Miami, or retool the offensive line via the portal and via a true freshman of Francis Mauigoa, who's a stud, and they gave him a little bit more help up there. But I'm just saying, I think this situation is 1, stable, and 2, just a good fit for Tyler Van Dyke. So excited to see where he ends up, or how he ends up playing out his time in Madison and what happens there in that quarterback room, because I like that fit a lot for him. This is a report here from Pete Nakos. Georgia is the favorite to land Trevor Etienne. And Trevor Etienne, you remember, running back at Florida, had over 5.5 yards a carry. Dude is a stud. Just from a fit perspective, which is a big word we're going to use now a lot when it comes to these portal additions or potential portal destinations for these guys. The downhill running style of Trevor Etienne, I think, fits like a glove with what Georgia wants to do. if you're banking on what we've seen Georgia be and banking on how they've recruited to this point in their time under Kirby Smart, they should have another really good offensive line for him to run behind. So it's just hilarious. Like, this is the rich getting richer. Like, nobody is saying, oh, man, Georgia really needs a running back. This is Trevor Etienne saying, I see a situation where guys have been successful. I see a team that's been successful. I see a style that fits how I play. Like, this is the rich getting richer. It's a great fit for Etienne. We'll see if it happens or not, but keep an eye on that. Again, On3's Pete Nakos reporting they are currently the favorite to land the former Florida Gator running back. So that's a big one. Now, right before we got on air here, like honestly, minutes before we got on air here, Grayson McCall gave his commitment to NC State. So remember, Dave Duren got Brendan Armstrong from the portal last year, goes back to the portal, gets a North Carolina native from Coastal Carolina, was Grayson McCall last couple of years, his entire college career there. Couple of things you're getting in Grayson McCall. First of which being experienced player. Like, yes, he hasn't played at the Power 5 or Power whatever we're calling it now, conference level yet, but he's a 3-time Sun Belt Player of the Year, had a lot of SEC interest a season ago when he dipped his toe in the portal, thrown for over 10,000 yards in his career. He's a dual threat guy, ran for double-digit touchdowns, and he was asked to do a lot in that offense when Jamie Chadwell was there running the show at Coastal Carolina. Like, not just physically from having to throw the ball downfield to running the football, but just from a decision-making standpoint. That offense, extremely complex. Your quarterback's making 2 or 3 decisions in the matter of 5 seconds. Am I going to give it? Am I going to pull it? And when I do pull it, am I going to throw it? Am I going to run it? Like, there was so much they were putting on his plate at Coastal Carolina. I think it's really going to complement this offense that Dave Duren wants to run under Robert and I at NC State. So that's a big pickup for them. Again, keeping him in state. A guy that's from North Carolina ends up committing to the hometown team. He's going to Raleigh to be a part of the Wolfpack. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.